প্রেজেন্টার এন্ড চেয়ার কো-চেয়ার ওনাদের কেসটা আইডেন্টিফাই করে ওনাদেরকে পোস্ট করে দিতাম, কিন্তু ওনারা কেউ জয়েন করেনি এবং আমাদের কাছে কোনো কন্ট্যাক্ট নাম্বার নেই, বুঝছো? প্রবলেমটা হচ্ছে এখানে। এখন ওই যে শরীফ জামিল ভাই উনি বললো কন্ট্যাক্ট করতে, আমি জানি না পেয়েছেন কিনা এখনো। আমি কন্ট্যাক্ট করতেছি, যোগাযোগ করবে সাহেবের সাথে আমার কথা হয়েছে। জি, পেপার লাগবে, না সেটাই, কোনো প্রেজেন্টার এখনো জয়েন করেনি আমাদের সাথে। জি জি, থ্যাংক ইউ। আসিফ স্যার আপাতত হচ্ছে সুনীল স্যারকে করে রাখেন, পার্টিসিপেন্টের করে রাখেন, যে আমাদের স্টেশন যেহেতু সেটা করে স্যার যদি পোস্ট করে রাখেন তাহলে হচ্ছে স্যার। শুনতে পাচ্ছেন? হ্যাঁ, আমি পোস্ট করেছি। একজন পার্টিসিপেন্ট জি জি। স্যার মাত্র স্যার আমার একটা মিস হয়েছিল, মেকআপ হয়েছিল, আমরা স্যার D5 এ চলে গিয়েছিলাম, আমি নতুন করে লিংক পেয়েছি স্যার, সবাই জয়েন করতে পেরেছেন? হ্যাঁ আছেন। এটা তো এটা তো মনে হয় E7 আমাকে বললো, মানে প্রোগ্রামে যেভাবে ছিল সেভাবেই ঢুকছি না। তারপরে ওখানে থেকে আমাকে কম্পিউটারে বললো যে না এটা E5, এটা মিক্স আপ হয়ে গেছে। লিংক দিলে চ্যাটে লিংক দেওয়ার পরে আমি চ্যাটে ডিটেইল এখন আমি আছি এখানে। আমার ভিডিও আমি দিয়ে দেন, পোস্ট স্টপ করে রাখেন। আমি দিচ্ছি। আর ভাই মাধ্যমের সাথে মাধ্যমের সাথে কথা হয়েছে, সে অফিসে আছে, সে জয়েন করতেছে, সেগুলো আমার আমি সামাদ ভাইকে বলছি, শরীফ ভাই আমি সামাদ ভাইকে বলছি, সামাদ ভাইকে E7 এ চলে আসেন এবং কন্টিনিউ করেন। নেক্সট টাইম আমি ভাই জয়েন করব ইনশাআল্লাহ। তাহলে ফোন দিছি ভাই জি মিউট করে দেন ভাই। শরীফ জামিল ভাই, আপনি কি এটা অর্গানাইজ করবেন? আপনি অ্যানকরিংটা করবেন, শুরুটা কি করতে পারেন? একজন আসছেন, একজন লাস্ট প্রেজেন্টার, হ্যাঁ, বাট যেহেতু আসছেন আমরা অথবা শুরু করতে পারবো। জি আমি আছি আর কি, সামাদ আছেন আমার সাথে, সামাদ আসেন আসেননি এখন, আপনি শুধু সামাদ দেখতে পারেন। শুরু করলে আমার তো এখন উঠতে হবে, বলছিলাম আমি সামাদের সাথে যে সামাদকে কন্টিনিউ করবে আর বাবার ভাই করবে, অসুবিধা নাই। আমাদের তো বলা হয়েছিল, বাজার ভাই তো বললো, কামরুজ্জামান ভাই তো বললো, সামাদের আর আমাদের তো হোস্টিং করে নাই, ভিডিও ছাড়ে নাই, আমি করতে পারতেছি না। ভিডিওটা দেখো না স্যার, ওনাকে পোস্ট করার সময় তো স্যার করতে পারবো জি আমি অলরেডি ফোকাস করে দিয়েছি আসিফ স্যার হচ্ছে আপনার সিকিউরিটি অপশন যে আনমিউট দেমসেলফ স্টার্ট ভিডিও যেটা স্যার ডিসেবল করে আনমিউট দেমসেলফ দেওয়া আছে আনচেক হ্যাঁ স্টার্ট ভিডিও অপশন Farjan sir আপনি আনমিউট করেন আপনি ভিডিও অন করতে পারেন
Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. Thank you for having me. First, I would like to thank our Honorable Chair Dr. Shoeb and Co-Chair Babel to give a chance to present my presentation. Myself, Farjan Salam, Assistant Professor, Department of Public Administration, Majumder. And I am also a student of MSDM, 17 batch, University of Dhaka. Today, our presentation topic is landslide management.
ইউটিউবের লিঙ্কটা আমাকে দিতে হবে ফেসবুকে দেবে links is মাটিও যায় নামানো। হুম
Please introduce yourself.
No, I think the next presenter isn't
Yeah.
present here right now, and if you permit, we'll try or give the floor to the next presenter. That means
Sure. Unfortunately,
Ahmed Imtiaz. Imtiaz is here, madam.
So please, you can read those names. Then it would be good for me. Okay, for all of us. So Ahmed Imtiaz, are you here? I'd like to invite Mr. Ahmed Imtiaz. I don't hear. Okay, he is here. So thank you very much, and you can start presenting. The floor is to Ahmed Imtiaz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Madam, I can't start video
Why?
because the host has
Yeah.
disability.
Okay. I'm giving
Please,
that.
you take just. I am requesting organizer. Please, you give the option at the beginning, like multiple user option.
It is already active now, madam. I'm going to share his presentation right now.
Yeah. So multiple participants can share. Thank you, Imtiaz Ahmed.
Okay. Hola.
Imtiaz Ahmed, please give me your instruction whether the slide will move next.
There is some problem. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hello, everybody. A good morning to you all. This is Imtiaz Ahmed here. I would like to talk about impact of air pollution on plants in Bangladesh. Here I go. Please, next slide. Introduction. The air is elastic, invisible, and tasteless mixture of gases that surrounds the earth. Air pollution has serviced a severe impact on human health, climate change, and ecosystem. Air quality has been degrading day by day from both natural as well as anthropogenic sources. The air quality of major cities in the world has been deteriorating badly with the increase in traffic and
Hello.
And
Yeah.
yes, madam.
Please continue.
Okay, madam. Thank you. Effects of these pollutants on human health could be reduced by proper planning to green belt, a natural way to reducing pollution by plants. According to the World Health Organization, 30% of particulate matter emission has occurred from road transportation. The main source of nitrogen oxide is the combustion of fossil fuels, especially fuels in the cars. Nitrogen oxide reduce plant growth, affect vegetation, and also cause acid rain. Please, next slide. Aim and objectives of the study. The main aim of the study is to identify people's perception on the impacts of air pollution on plants. The specific objectives are to understand the basic knowledge level about pollution from respondents, to know the people's perception on impacts of air pollution on plants, to set some steps, recommendation to create public awareness impacts of air pollution on plants. This next slide. Study design and data collection. The study employed to cross-sectional design to obtain qualitative data using questionnaires. 230 respondents were selected for this study. The study took place between 17 August to 25 August 2020. The final survey instrument comprised of 30 questions in 5 major areas: diagram, demographic information 6 items, general perception of air pollution 4 items, and impacts of air pollution on plants 13 items. Please go to next slide. Demographic characteristics show the demographic characteristics of these respondents. The participants of the same female respondents was less than male in this study. The age group ranged from below 20 to 50, with the majority 67.4% in 21 to 35 years age groups. It was observed that 60% of the respondents were private job holder, followed by public job holder 15.7%. Most of the respondents live in urban area 59.1%, while 40.9% are from rural area. Please go to next slide. The perception on respondents: 92.2% idea about air pollution. 212 participants says that they have idea about air pollution. Only 2% participants, which means 0.9% people have no idea about air pollution. Mostly 230 participants are giving opinion in this source of main source of air pollution. 60.4% people, numbering 1.39 people says that vehicles are the main
Is there any problem? Hello?
No, madam.
Okay.
Air pollution has impact on plants. Shows the perception on respondents: 86.5% idea about air pollution, and 199 participants says that they have idea about air pollution. Only 3 participants, which means 1.3% people have no idea about air pollution. The main, mostly 230 participants on giving opinion on 105 participants says that the sulfur dioxide is main responsible for plant damage. Sulfur dioxide is not only cause for air pollution, This 68 participant are says that particulate matter is another reason for plants damage. 30 and 27 people says that ozone and nitrogen oxide are also responsible for plant damage, which impact 30% and 1.7% impact on plant damage. Please go to next slide. In this figure, 80.9% participants know about air pollution contributes to advise whether who is the turn destroy crops. On 16.5% people are not know about it, and 212 participants says that nitrogen oxide is quite toxic to plants. In 7.8% people, numbering 12 people, says that they have no idea about it. This next slide. In this figure, mostly 230 participants are giving opinion on 63 participants think plants get exposed to sulfur dioxide through acid rain. 3% people, numbering 7 people, says that they have no idea about it, and 106 participants agree that ozone enters the plants and damages its tissue. 45.2 people, numbering 105 people, says that they have strongly agree with this, and 7% people are neutral in this case. Please next slide. 110 participants agree the ozone enters the plant and damages its tissue. 49.9 people, numbering 94 people, says that they have strongly agree with the effect of air pollution may severely affect plant growth and development. And 8.3% people, numbering 19 people, are neutral in this case. In this graph, effect of air pollution may severe risks of photosynthesis. This question opinion on 230 respondents, where 51.3% people agree about the effect of air pollution on severely affect plants photosynthesis, and 40% people strongly agree with this, and 18 people are neutral. Please next slide. In this graph, 70% people, numbering on 31 people, are agree about the effect of air pollution may severely affect plant pollution, and 31.7% people are also strongly agree with this, and 10.4% people are neutral, and 2 people are disagree. 110 people agree about the effect of air pollution may severely affect plant pollution. 40.9% people are also strongly agree with this, and 8.3% people neutral, and 6 people are disagree. The effect of air pollution may severely affect fruits and size and shape. Please next slide. 133 people think that in the urban or roadside.
Be brief,
Yes,
and maintain that time. Thank you.
Okay. 100 people think that the effect of air pollution may severely affect fruit taste and fruit value. 103 people with strongly agree with this, and 22 people are neutral, and 4 people are not agree with this. Please next slide. The people. People's 97 people think that government should um, 157 people have their idea about air pollution tolerance index of plants in this case. 24% people are not sure that they have or haven't any idea about it, and 17 people have no idea about it. Please go to next slide. Before slide. Okay. 97 people think the government should plant and this 135 people think that government should take necessary steps to reduce air pollution. To 12.6% people are not sure that government should or shouldn't, and 6 people say that the government take necessary steps and reduce air pollution. Please go to next slide. Conclusion and recommendation. Conclusion. On this questionnaire, we have found that most of the participants are serious about air pollution. The peoples of urban or rural area have poor perception and awareness about the issue of air pollution. Based on the findings, it can be concludes that some of the respondents are still in darkness about perception, cause, effect, and impact of air pollution. Recommendations: more awareness on air pollution should create. This issue would be included in our school curriculum. Law enforcement should ensure reduction of air pollution source should get more priority. Last of all, I would like to thank you, Honorable Madam, and all. This is it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Imtiaz Ahmed. We are keeping the comments for next. So first we are listening to the presentations. So I would like to invite, if someone help me to see the next presenter. Organizer, please.
Next presenter is Shoeb Mohammad. Shoeb Mohammad, is he present here? Mr. Shoeb Mohammad? I think Tapas Chakraborty is present here. So,
yeah, Tapas, I can see Tapas Chakraborty. So I request Mr. Tapas Ranjan Chakraborty to come up with the presentation and introduce himself. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Tapas. I'll start now, but let me 1 second for opening the presentation. No issue. Okay, is it visible? So,
Yes, please go on.
okay, thank you.
Honorable Chair, your microphone is muted.
Okay. I'm saying that it's a coincidence when Tapas Ranjan Chakraborty present, I become the chair. It's last ICBEN also.
Yeah, several times, not only one time.
Maybe for the subject, yeah. Please.
Yeah. Thank you. So my presentation is on the rethinking the values of culture and norms on development of Haor Basin. And I'm Tapas Chakraborty. I work for Oxfam as Disaster Risk Financing Coordinator. And I'm with my co-researcher, Anusree Ghosh. She worked for Bangladesh Post. And so Haor Basin is a special type of ecosystem. It's found only in some, Bangladesh and some part of India. It's a depression, like bowl-shaped depression. Very close English word is back swamp, but it's a bit different than the back swamp. And it is aquatic during the monsoon and terrestrial in winter. My apology, you probably hear some sound from nearby. The agronomy and the open fisheries are the main option, and its Haor is remote, and fishers are averagely poor. So I worked that how the culture and norms of this Haor can help us on the conservation or the environmental management. And as part the methodology, I have made the study on the Medir Haor. This is one of the smallest Haor basin in Bangladesh and very close to Dhaka. Probably the first Haor from Dhaka road to Sylhet of that basin. It is 50 square kilometer, and there are numbers of rivers there, and there are very large crop field. And most of the fishers are belonging to the Chakraborty community of Hindu faith. And there was transit in this Haor, and I had focus group discussion and key informant interview and policy review to identify the scopes there. And what I did to get the to identify what happened on the climate change there, I reviewed the local song that called the Baromashi Gan. Baromashi songs are actually describing the 12 months, and there are different forms of Baromashi songs. Some are on their livelihood, some are on religion, some on emotion. And what we found on analyzing the description on this Baromashi song and currently happening, there is a significant change on the seasons, except Shravan, the month, Bengali month Shravan. Almost every month have changed their characters. The current character is not similar with the characters that described on this Baromashi song. So some has shifted back and some has shifted forward. So there is significant change on the seasonal character happen. And here we found it's in the there are a number of sacred areas. One sacred area was studied, and I found the 36 fauna there, and the number of fish species is 53. Working there, we found that at least 15 species are conserved by the community faith and community beliefs, like dolphins. And there are some records on crocodile, but it's extinct now. And some snakes, lotus, water harps, those are actually conserved there, protected there because of this faith of the Chakraborty communities. And the conservation norms, they believe that the Gangetic dolphin that is found in this Meghna Basin and also in the Haor, on that Haor Park, and the last sighting was 10 years earlier, but it's conserved as it's protected as it's the carrier of the goddess Ganga, they believe. The birds with their chickens, they are never killed in that Haor Basin area because of their mother and the child is together. One bird is called brain fever, mm, that is not even killed. The Bengali name is Bo Kathako. And there we found that at least 15 species, even the water spider, that are not killed there because the spider helped Holy Prophet. So those are the things that the norms. But there is some deterioration now because the young generation are not knowing this. And there is a significant gap of transferring traditional knowledge from the parental generation to the current generation. So natural resource management can target this. This is one opportunity. So we can target when we plan the natural resource management, this one. And there are a number of forgotten practices of cultivation. We found one form of cultivation as local as drought has been increased because of this climate change. That is called Gulla vine. That means the community in the month of Baishak, that means in April, they just spread the broadcasted almond and wait for the rainfall. When the rainfall will come, then they will germinate. There were one variety of rice that called Ashnai, which is that took more than 5 months in the crop field, but it's grown in the month of Arshin. This was not finding now. Another paddy variety is available, wire available on the Haor Basin that called Tepaburu. Tepaburu need not to, if it is soaked with water, then it's become turned edible. One thing is that Assam of India has taken the property right of that variety, but this is to share that this was the variety of Bangladesh too. So we have not strong advocacy for that variety, which is very helpful to climate change mitigation and adaptation. It's not need no energy to boil. So we lost it. So those can be a potential climate change adaptation option when we design. So we found number of development interference in that Haor Basin, that the construction of road instead of water navigation, conversion of land, it's happening. The Medi Haor area has lost around half of its size. Not in total geo boundary. This is because of this fragmentation of wetlands. So number of roads, number of other infrastructure being introduced. And there are some other alien species like tilapias and dolcolme, very common. So one thing is that we also found some natural processes that are interfering this. How is not a climate, a wetland of succession, final succession stage. That's why we also found the siltation on the riverbed, growth of aquatic weeds has increased because of this fertility of water has increased now. And there are some changes on the perennial water body. The 10 years earlier, which were the permanent water body in this Medi Haor, were not the same now. But there is a conflict in the community. So some people love to say those permanent wetlands, which are called beel, as waterlogging. But the thing is that waterlogging and the beels are different. So there is one incident in this Medi Haor area that one beel in the name of waterlogging has been claimed by the local community that they need to drain out the water. But the keeping water in beel is very essential for the Haor ecosystem. There are other challenges we found in this Medi Haor, that the upstream water flow is disturbed and the drainage system, that the mouth in the river Meghna is not actually depth like as earlier. So the challenges in the development in the norms, as the river Longan is silted in the Meghna junction, and the Longan River is not getting sufficient water. Earlier there was a festival, Mela, this fair one that called the Stanirpani, that's the holy bathing fair. Because of the drainage of Longan River, the silt, I mean the drains silt were dumped in one area, which is very close to the fair ground. Now this is turned as a landing ground of the boats that are carrying the silted sand. So as a result, what came? That people already forgotten that particular fair. So it's not happening now, and the economics which was related with you, it's not big, the people lost this. But there are different scenarios. We found that the government is promoting the Pohela Boishak everywhere, including Dhaka. There is another holy bathing sites in Bangladesh called Langalband in Narayanganj, which is getting supports from the government plans and others. But the rural other fairs in the remote area is not being supported. So this is one. So if we target conservation projects or intervention on the conservation or the cultural values, this also result the ecosystem conservation. So the recommended actions that we have with the community, this is not of the researchers only, with the community also, that the documentation of norms and cultural practices. We found that the gap, there is a significant gap. Around only 17% young generation know the practices compared with their parental generation. And also identify the economic analysis of the value of the culture. Like in the full moon, the people in this Medi Haor, the Kolkattas of Medi Haor avoid fishing. What is the economic value of that? So we need some analysis. If we can have some analysis, then it will be helpful for our planning. Also, eco and cultural tourism can be promoted. There needs to develop project. Actually, if we follow that there are no significant project on the cultural conservation in anywhere of Bangladesh except the Sundarbans. And another thing is that the local geo context is not being studied in anywhere in our curriculum in the secondary level. Like the people living in the Haor Basin is not knowing anything about Haor through their curriculum. So there are Haor specific institutions and authorities too. And one gap we found in the policy potential, that the Haor Development Master Plan has noted the word culture, but they have only planned on the sports, not on cultural conservation. So I'm end now, and there is a proverb in the Haor Basin, "Je gange pani nai, shei gang gang na." That means if the canal has no water, this is not a canal. So if there is no culture or the norms in practice, this is not a good community. So thanks from my end. If you have any questions.
Thank you, Tapush Ranjan Chakraborty. I think it was a higher study and Haors are at risk, we always say, and it was useful and timely, I think. So I would like to reserve the questions and comments at the end, and would like to request, I think, Miss Rafiza Islam. She will be presenting on behalf of Mohammad Shoeb. So inviting Miss Rafia Islam.
Rafiza Islam, would you please unmute your audio?
Everyone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you. We are seeing your presentation, but it is conclusion. The slide is conclusion. I think it should be from the beginning. So we are, I think, seeing the last but one slide.
Hello. Yes. Assalamualaikum everyone. I am Rafiza Islam, PhD student, Department of Chemistry, University of Dhaka. Today I am talking about assessment of environmental impact of Rohingya influx in Cox's Bazar. Hundreds of thousands of Rohingya refugees started arriving in Bangladesh in August 2017 after Myanmar army launched a violent crackdown on Rohingya in Rakhine state. Myanmar security forces are accused of rape, murder, torture, and setting Rohingya homes on fire. For this reason, lot of Rohingya refugees are come into the Bangladesh and sheltered at Cox's Bazar, which is the largest refugee camp in the world. Due to the vulnerable situation, they faced lots of problems like lack of accommodation, reduced availability of food, pure water, land degradation, waterborne diseases like diarrhea, cholera, hepatitis E, and reduced water availability. The government of Bangladesh tackled this situation, thus settling down hundreds of thousands of Rohingya refugees in Cox's Bazar, and most recently they expand the total land by 6,500 acres in Ukhia and Teknaf Upazila through the extension of 3,700 acres for the Kutupalam and Balukhali, and also relocated for 45,000 refugees. The Ministry of Environment and Forest and United Nations Development Program UNDP are jointly identified the physical and environmental impact, ecosystem impact, gender-based impact, and health-based risk factor, and they propose environmental management plan and a serious action to address the higher environmental risk related to the influx. 11 environment impacts are identified, and they could potentially be exacerbated by the Rohingya influx, like physical and environmental impact, groundwater, surface water, aquatic level, indoor air quality, solid waste management, and solid drains. And also the remaining 5 impact on ecosystem like natural forest, protected areas, and critical habitats, vegetation, wildlife, marine, and freshwater ecosystems. Professor Dr. Mohammad Shoeb want to know the situation and these impacts. So he and his team conducted several meetings with Waste Management and Livelihood Specialist UNDP Bangladesh, Deputy Commissioner RRC, Government of the People Republic of Bangladesh, against Action Against Hunger, Sector Coordinator was Cox's Bazar, and local people, and talk with refugees also. They observed the status of the Rohingya camp in June 2019, and they collected from there 10 water samples and 10 soil samples from the water reservoir of nearer camps and bring to the lab for analysis. These research objectives are to study the level of heavy metals in soil and water samples. Heavy metals are mercury, lead, chromium, arsenic, and also the ash and moisture content. Another objective is to examine water quality and evaluate the level of the pollution like pH level, conductance, total suspended solid in soil samples. Moisture and ash contents were calculated by those equations, and pH were measured by the pH meter. Arsenic, lead, chromium are also in these heavy metals in soils and waters were analyzed by atomic absorption spectrometers. Here we can see the result from analysis. pH in water samples values are present here, and we see the pH scale from to the 0 to 14, and within 7 being the neutral, and the pH less than 7 are the acidic, while the pH greater than 7 are basic. So here we can see the pH value of water samples within the range of 6.34 to 7.41 in water samples. Total suspended solids. Total suspended solids basically the dry weight of the suspended particles that are not dissolved in the sample of the water and that can be trapped by a filter. That is the analysis using filtration apparatus, and the gain weight is dry weight measured by the particulates present in the water sample, expressed in milligram per liter and calculated from the volume of the water filtered. Here we can see the range of the 158 to 217 milligram per liter in the total suspended solids of those 10 water samples. Here you can see the heavy metals level of water samples, and arsenic, we found there arsenic and chromium are less than 0.005 and lead and mercury were found at 0.01 to 0.001 range. The heavy metals of soil samples are below in these slides present here. Arsenic range within 0.5 to 2.62. Chromium range with 6.1 to 33.9, and arsenics lead in the 6.98 to 17.9, and mercury 0.12 to 0.55 for in those samples. From this analysis, we found and gets some calculation like that. Moisture and ash content are determined the range of 18 to 37% and 50 to 60%. The range of pH of water was 6.34 to 7.57, and total suspended solids in water within the range of 34 to 255 milligram per liter. Soil and water analyzed by the atomic absorption spectroscopy, and the range of arsenic, chromium, mercury, lead are 0.50 to 2.62, 6.10 to 33.9, and 0.12 to 0.89, and 6.98 to 22.3 milligram per kg in soil. And all those heavy metals particles are less than 0.55 to 0 and 0.001 milligram per liter in water sample respectively. And this is the conclusion. So my acknowledgement goes to Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of the People, Republic of Bangladesh for the financial support, and International Science Program, ISP Uppsala University, Sweden. Also, my acknowledged goes to UNDP, WASH, Cox's Bazar, and for all cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafiza Islam, for your presentation in a different kind of, because we know that humanitarian response is one of the major issues in the population context and environmental context. So now we have another presenter, Ms. Antora. So I would like to invite her for presenting her paper. And you know that our session is supposed to be held from 9 to 10:30 a.m. But because we running out late, so we have 15 minutes more to 10:30. So inviting Madam Antora. Are you here? Is Antora here?
Probably, madam, she is not there.
Okay. So is there any more presenter?
No, madam. We had 5 presentations. So out of 5 presentations, we have already presented 4 papers.
4, yeah. So thank you very much, all the presenters. You made the day, and it's very early in the morning, and it's winter. Wind is blowing, so maybe we didn't get that much presenters in our session. But the papers, those have been presented were valuable, and I would like to make comments or invite comments from the audience or question to any of the presenter that you'd like to pose. Thank you very much. Then I will talk at the end. Please introduce yourself and raise any question that you have in your mind or you noted while the presenters have been presenting. Thank you. Yes, Dr. Susan Handshake, please.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Rafiza Islam if these arsenic levels and other, especially the lead seems concerning. I'd like to know, are these problem levels? I wasn't sure from your presentation. Are these dangerous levels of water and soil pollution or not?
Hello. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
We found actually we found these heavy metals levels is not dangerous because these samples are collected from actually in June 2019, and we cannot found the dangerous level at that time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Is there any more?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, Susan, I think Dr. Muhammad Sharafuddin, please.
Yes, thank you for giving me the floor. Thanks, presenter. I have a question for Tapas. And another question is Rafiza Islam. First of all, Rafiza Islam. Actually, my query is, you have already studied in the Rohingya camp. My query is, did you consider any local people or surrounding the Rohingya camp where the local people are living around? So I think we need a comparative study between the Rohingya people and also local people who are living around the camps. I think only the Rohingya people are considering. My point is we have to consider both of the peoples,
Yes.
local people as well as the Rohingya people. And Chakraborty, about Chakraborty, about so my query is, where did you study this one? Which Haor? Actually, at the starting of your presentation, I was absent, and that is why maybe I missed it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. It's Nasimnagar Upazila Brahmudbaria. I am responding on behalf of
Okay.
Medir Haor. Name is Medir Haor from Tapas.
Thank you.
Okay. I think Dr. Susan Henschett also had a question.
Yes, I'd like to ask Shantanu Biswas about the girls and the boys. I mean, we have some gender in the title of this session. Do you see any differences in the ways the boys and the girls are taking the leadership roles or responding to the challenges that you are posing to them?
I don't see Mr. Shantanu is present here, and I don't find. So, and this is one of the questions that I had in my mind, the session's name. And there are some comments from my side also at the end I would like to say, but he is not here, so no one can on behalf. Yeah.
Rafiza Islam is, I think she is present.
Yeah,
here.
Rafiza Islam is here. So Dr. Mohammad
and there is another supplementary question. Just like one, is there any leadership rising from the Rohingya camp which can detrimental for the country? So, do you have any data regarding this one?
Sir, actually, this is the initial stage when actually last year we collected some going over there, but cannot collect the information which you said, sir. But our research work is ongoing by our professor, Dr. Mohammad Shoeb. Maybe your question I passed here and ask this answer, sir, next time.
Okay, thanks.
So thank you, the presenters and also the participants for your valuable questions. I see Mr. Shantanu had some questions in the chat box as well, but unfortunately he is not here. So I would like to request the organizer to pass these questions to him. Maybe Mr. Shantanu will respond later on. If there is no more question or comment, I would like to conclude the session, thanking all the presenters and participants, and also to the researchers, young researchers, with few comments. And as Dr. Sujan mentioned that the name of the session was Gender, Population and Environment, we would have been very much benefited if there were comparative, any kind of information on any of the paper. I think that would have been good. So first that Shantanu Bishar's paper, we find that they are creating or already have created youth leaders to address climate change. And there is a question from the participant, Mr. Shaheenur Islam, of course, that that the presenter only mentioned about the urban volunteers, but what about the coast? And so to respond to this question to Shaheenur Islam, I think you are working in one of the most reputed organizations who are focusing on the volunteers and coastal, most important, most severe risk cyclone prone areas or disaster prone areas. And you know that there are volunteers since the beginning of Bangladesh, like coastal volunteers. I think CPP, the cyclone preparedness programs volunteers are working. And Shantanu also mentioned about the curriculum inclusion. So that volunteerism and others also included in the curriculum, that how youth can play a role. Most importantly, Ministry of Youth and Sports in Bangladesh is forming volunteer groups in the COVID-19 period so that they can support people at stake. So I should say we must know that youth, from the population, the demographic dividend of Bangladesh, that young population are outnumbering other age group. So they are the potential groups, and we must congratulate you, the youth, for having these kind of leadership qualities in you, and providing training to the 20 training that this paper have mentioned that provided. And I should come to the next, that impact of air pollution on plants in Bangladesh, presented by Mr. Imtiaz Ahmed on behalf of his colleagues. So this is very much, I think, Dhaka, when COVID-19 is giving us the pollution-free country or pollution-free world, Dhaka is already again has become the most air polluted city. So that is alarming. We already know that how this giving and negative impact, bringing negative consequences on. So this is very much environment friendly paper, and this is also a paper that we haven't seen much on impact of air pollution on plants. We see on the respiratory problems on health and others. So I think you can extend this paper for future. Next, I'm commenting on Tapas Ranjan Chakraborty's paper, so rethinking the values of culture and norms in development of Haor Basin. And he had mentioned about the Medir Haor, very close to Dhaka, Norsingdi, and Brahmanbaria. So we study in Haor, Kishoreganj Haor, also Sunamganj Haor regions. And we have found in that with the age, then the cultural practices surrounded by wetland and the trees, these are at the verge of extinctions, because only it goes with the ages. Like when there are some species like tree species, people, you can ask younger people, they cannot say the names, or they are not familiar with those cultural practices, which were like we find from it's Bono Bonobashir Jibon Songram. So in that book we have listed that 90 years old women have mentioned name of the like 20 trees, whereas an 18-year is telling name of 5 trees, names of 5 trees, and also the cultural practices they are doing. So we have to save these cultural practices, the traditional norms and values, and I think your paper is very much rightly pointed out the recommendations that you have mentioned. So though it's a small study, but this kind of generalization can be made through the qualitative study. So I would like to request you to do this, continue this in another house, so we will find some other values and norms, the verses that you have mentioned, those verses also are not, we are getting anymore. Then the Razia Islam's paper, Assessment of Environmental Impact of Rohingya Influx in Cox's Bazar. So the comparison she has made, the value of water and soil sample that has collected, and she has mentioned the pH value, the arsenic or AS value, and mentioned the differences. And you also had some comments from Dr. Shujan Hanshed and Dr. Mohammad Sharafuddin. So I believe these studies will be going on, and we think that these will be contributing to our international as well as the national policy making level, or to contribute to protect environment and the population development perspective. And ultimately, we are going to achieve sustainable development goals at the end. And I think in future, we will get some comparative study on gender-based, because many of you have mentioned that educational curriculum. I must say that in 2013, in Bangladesh and Global Studies, I was the coordinator. In fact, that textbook curriculum included that you have suggested for. So many of these issues have been included in the curriculum National Textbook Board, and it's only one category like government educational schools, but this Bangladesh and Global Studies will be read by all. So there we talk about environment, we talk about pollution, we talk about disaster management, we talk about equity, and we talk about values and norms, and the gender division of labor throughout the socialization process. So it's at the primary level, started from the primary level. So we believe there will be a change in the next generation who are holding some norms and values which the society expect from us, from the generation, from the people. So thank you very much, Bapa and Ben, for inviting me, for giving me this opportunity to chair a session which will give some fruitful thoughts for future. Thank you all. So over to you, ICBEN. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And with this conclusion of our honorable chair, we would like to invite you in our next session that will be started very soon. Thank you.